NickDude2251 suggested I talk about video games, which sounded pretty good to me. Now, I myself am pretty bad at video games, but I do find them fun, and I'm going to share some different things about them. About a year ago, I went to the Museum of the Moving Image in New York, which is a really cool place, and I'd highly recommend you go if you get the chance. But while I was there was a really cool exhibit, and it had video games, but not just ordinary video games. There were very different and unusual video games. And many of them, although they were games, were also art. And that makes me think about what art really is, and how almost everything can seem like art if you just change the way you view it. Jumping to something completely different now, something that I like about video games is that they're a different way of storytelling, interactive storytelling. I love interesting ways of telling stories. Some of you may remember that back when I was doing book reviews, I loved it when books had an interesting narration style, like The Book Thief in this book, which I'm going to talk about in another video. I also love things like going back and reading text messages to see the stories that they tell. Even video making tells a story. The person making the video doesn't always just talk about their life, but you can see how their personality has changed over time. On another completely different note, sometimes I think about if we were all video games. What if we're just a complex program like Sims that think they're real? Or maybe it would be more realistic to imagine that they don't control us, they control the environment around us and try to use it to make us do things. I heard something on Radiolab, which is a podcast I've been talking about a lot this month, but it's really good and you should listen to it. And it said that if the universe is infinite, which it may or may not be, then there's a large chance we are virtual, because if there's infinite space, every possibility must have happened, which means that there must have been some really smart species that were able to create a virtual world. And inside of those virtual worlds, there must be infinite more virtual worlds. This also makes me think of another kind of video game, my kind of video game, games within videos. Last week I proved that 1 equaled 2 and saw if anyone could find the trick. And the winner, who did not actually win anything, was Cresselia16, who pointed out that if x minus y is 0, you cannot divide by x minus y, because you cannot divide by 0. This week we're going to play another video game. I'll repeat a pattern a couple times and tell you the answers, and then I'll leave one with no answer and you can try to figure out what the answer is. If I know you and have already done this for you, please don't spoil it for others. Are you ready? How many rabbits jumped over the fence? The answer to that one was 3. Pay attention. How many rabbits jumped over the fence? The answer to that one was 2. It's not as difficult as it seems. How many rabbits jumped over the fence? The answer to that one was 7. You can still figure it out if you haven't already. How many rabbits jumped over the fence? The answer to that one was 10. Let's do one more. How many rabbits jumped over the fence? The answer to that one was 4. Pay close attention. How many rabbits jumped over the fence? And that one is up to you. So, video games. That's what I talked about in this video. I don't know how to end this.